and trees. In other news, the National Housing Trust is projecting operating surpluses of $1.58 billion for the current financial year, which ends in March. This follows another good year for the NHT, which recorded a surplus of $1.8 billion in 2009 on the back of a 28% increase in incomes over 2008.
Now, let me hasten to point out that this surplus came about from a number of strategic moves made by the Trust. One, we have reduced operational costs. Two, we had foreign exchange gains. And three, our returns from our investment were higher because of how we placed our funds.
The NHT chairman was speaking at a JIS think tank session this week. He says the trust is utilizing the earnings to deliver more homes to Jamaicans. By the end of this financial year in March, NHT will have spent $18.5 billion on housing for the year, the highest amount in 5 years. The plan is to spend even more, $24 billion in the coming year.
This will allow us to start schemes in places such as Longville in Clarendon, Sevens and Hellshire, with most of the work to be done at Longville. For the financial year which is about to end, the Trust has started work on 3,241 housing solutions in schemes across the island. In the 2010-2011 year, we will deliver 1,991 scheme solutions to our contributors.
In the meantime, the NHT chairman says the trust will continue efforts this year to make it easier for more Jamaicans to access home solutions through the NHT.
Our main focus going forward will be to provide housing solutions for the 64% of our contributors who are unable to afford houses above a certain price. The trust needs to, for the next perhaps 2-3 years, focus on a lower level, a lower price of housing, because there are many of our contributors out there who cannot afford a house of above $4 million.
Last year, 5 policies were announced to address that situation. 3 are now in force, and Howard Mitchell says the other 2 will be rolled out this April. Turning to another matter, the NHT chairman is trying to reassure contributors looking to get refunds this year. He says the problems that plagued the process last year have largely been worked out, and people should begin getting their money within the next week.
The people who applied on January 4th are due to be refunded on January 26th, unless they have been asked to submit additional data to support their claim. There is no need for uncertainty. There is no need to be concerned. The monies will be paid out, and we will try our best to keep delays to a minimum.
The NHT has budgeted $2.1 billion for contributions refunds this year. Some 100 residents of Linstead and neighbouring communities in St. Catherine are today registered landowners. The residents received official copies of their land titles from the Land Administration and Management Programme, LAMP, at a handing over ceremony yesterday. Board Chairman Wayne Chen congratulated the residents on their achievement, but said he's concerned about the high number of legitimate landowners who are still not in possession of official titles.
It has been a great shock to me as I got older, wiser, and I did more research to understand that almost half of Jamaica's families who are living in their homes, living on their land, did not have a registered title to their land.
LAMP got off the ground in 1999 through funding from the government and the Inter-American Development Bank. The program was set up to regularize land ownership across the island. And finally, in the news, Jamaicans from all walks of life seeking legal information are reminded to attend Legal Aid Saturday. The free Legal Aid event will be staged tomorrow at the Ranny Williams Entertainment Centre on Hope Road in St. Andrew. A number of legal disciplines will be addressed. The list includes personal injury, employment and redundancy, divorce, child maintenance, criminal matters, intellectual property rights, domestic violence and entertainment. Executive Director of the Legal Aid Council, Hugh Faulkner, says the entity is fully ready for tomorrow's event.
Persons may have issues. They may need information, and you sit and do nothing. And sometimes it stimulates frustration, it stimulates anger, it destroys community peace and harmony, and sometimes it destroys family relationships. So I would advise persons to come out, get information which you might find useful, and it will help you to understand how to resolve matters.
About 10 organizations will be participating in the legal fair. And those were the stories making the news today. For more information, please visit our website at www.jis.gov.jm. Stay with us. Jamaica Magazine continues. Broken homes, broken people, desolation, desperation. Just 300 miles away, our brothers and sisters in Haiti are crying for help, our help, your help. Join the JIS and the ODPEM as we collect canned food and other non-perishable items for the earthquake victims in Haiti. Their lives depend on it. Leave your donations at the JIS, 58A Halfway Tree Road, Kingston 10, Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Or take your gifts to the ODPEM, 2 to 4 Haining Road, Kingston 5, Monday to Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Or make cash donations at any branch of NCB, account number 212387304. Together we can make a difference. Together, we can help Haiti. Rewind 2009, our review of major developments last year, continues now with a look at the work of the Ministry of Water and Housing.
The global economic crisis put a damper on construction and spending in general. But nonetheless, 2009 was an eventful year for the Ministry of Water and Housing as efforts continued to improve the quality of life through the provision of two basic commodities essential to human development: clean water and affordable shelter. Laying the foundation for government's housing delivery program going forward, a draft national policy and implementation plan was prepared in 2009. The plan contains critical strategies to deliver at least 10,000 new housing solutions in the 2010-2011 financial year.
What we have done is a couple of what we may call samples. We have 16 units as part of our urban renewal program in Olympic Way, which is an attempt to look at what possibilities we have for these deep inner city areas that have serious housing problems. We're doing something at Albion and St. James, and we're going to be looking at expanding such program as funding allows.
Despite the economic downturn, the Ministry of Water and Housing moved aggressively towards providing new housing solutions, targeting joint venture partnership arrangements. Several development models and costing were analyzed for feasibility and possible replication across the island. Housing Minister Horace Chang was adamant that the unsatisfied demand, particularly in the low-income segment of the market, had to be addressed in order to arrest urban-rural decay. In January last year, a Memorandum of Understanding was signed for the development of 130 acres of land in Rhine Park, South St. James, under government's joint venture project with Rosal Developments Limited. Under this arrangement, tourism sector workers and their families are to benefit from affordable housing solutions.
This move of joint venture, as it is in one sense, to provide quality housing for workers in the industry, especially those associated with developments in Road South. The government has the intention of moving aggressively in the new year to provide housing